Okay, so the good people at Signature sent me through the Thicket. You know what I mean? So this is the new film from Elliott Lester. It is written by Chris Kelley. The film is produced by Peter Dinklage, Shannon Goulding, David Ginsburg, Andre L. III, Elliott Lester, Gianni Nunari, Caddy Vanescal. It's executive produced by Shannon D. Wald, Blair Wald, Chad Oakes, and Brian O'Shea, executive produce and produce as well. I didn't notice that. Okay. Same with Michael Frislev. Anders Erdin, executive producers, and Lauren Case. Philip Chipera co-produces, along with Brooke Doolian. With line production from John Kerr. Ray Soon took care of the music. Guillermo Gaza is on cinematography. Jean-Christophe Bouzy edits the piece. Production design is Justin Ludwig. Edward Smith Taylor is art direction. Set decoration is Tara Bartlett. Anne Mascari is costume design. We got hair, prosthetics, makeup, all of that jazz. Chantel Capri, Danielle Dawson, Ashley Godlick, Kyra McPherson, Gunther Skretter, Sharon Tui, David Traynor, and Amber Walliser. So that brings us to our cast. Okay. People, we have got Peter Dinklage as Reginald Jones. There is Levon Hawke as Jack Parker. His sister Lula is played by Esme Creed Mills. Reginald Jones's buddy Eustace Hollow is played by Gbenga Akinnagbe. There is Jimmy Sue, played by Leslie Grace. We also have Cutthroat Bill, played by Juliette Lewis. Simon Deasy, played by James Hetfield. Malachi Deasy, played by Macon Blair. Reverend Efron Coulson, played by Arliss Howard. Baldy, played by Ned Dennehy. We got Blackmouth, played by David Midhunter. Bailey Mayfield, played by Ryan Robbins. Slim, played by Teach Grant. Fatty, played by Derek Gilroy. Blondie, played by Roger LeBlanc. Jake and Lula's uncle, I forgot about him. Caleb, played by Guy Sprung. Hector, played by Andrew Schultz. Marvin Taylor, played by Brent State. John Taylor, played by Caleb Ellsworth Clark. The Ferryman, played by David Lorraine. His wife, played by Diana Marie Stolz. yeah, that's the main players, I would say, right? Now, the gist of the film: when fierce bounty hunter Reginald Jones is recruited by a desperate man to track down a ruthless killer known only as Cutthroat Bill, he rallies a band of unlikely heroes, including a grave-digging ex-slave and a street-smart woman for hire. Together, they embark on a perilous quest to track down Cutthroat Bill that leads them into the deadly no man's land known as the Thicket. Dum 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 dum. So yeah, that's the film, people. That is the film. A little bit from the press notes. Okay, so for director Elliott Lester, it was the human heart at the center of the movie that drew him to the material. I love the notion of the quest for family and defining what family really means. What happens when everyone you care about in a story is an orphan? Where do those people go? How do they find one another? Filming The Thicket took place in Alberta, Canada, in the middle of a bitter winter. This was the most challenging movie I have ever made. It was literally the ride of a lifetime, deep into the heart of the thicket. The cast met every challenge with grace and grit. Production is always arduous, but snow, bitter wind, and short days increased the level of difficulty. Making the movie in that environment created the experience of living in the American West a century ago. It was a brutal time, unpredictable, with unending threats, disease, violence, lawlessness. In order to create the atmosphere of the thicket, we had to voyage into the challenging areas to shoot. Alberta, Calgary was relentless and unforgiving. A day didn't go by without a threat of frostbite, pneumonia, and pain presenting itself on set. The cast met with every challenge, and unlike us in our warm winter gear, they worked in period costumes like only true professionals and champions can. There's a lot more, but that's the gist, right? Now, this is actually based on a book, right, of the same name by Joe R. Lansdale. The book came out in, 2013. 2013. Now, I'd heard about this film last year because, the Flagrant podcast, right? Andrew Schultz is in it, and he had Peter Dinklage on. And I knew he was in it. But, yeah, I just didn't see it anywhere. So I was definitely interested. And I will say this off the bat. For a guy whose main thing is comedy, Andrew Schultz was good in this, right? I mean, he's, what was it? White Men Can't Jump. He was in White Men Can't Jump, and it was terrible. But You People was horrible. He was good in it, right? And again, he's good in this, right? So he's definitely building those chops, right? Definitely building those chops. And this film, it did have that atmosphere of, a Western, of the, all of that going on. Now, because we have Juliette Lewis's character. We see her at the start on a motorbike, right? So I'm like, when is this set? I wasn't quite sure. It's kind of a bit of a modern Western, not quite as modern as, what's that Timothy Olyphant show? My mind's gone blank. I cannot think of the Timothy Olyphant show, but it's not quite that modern. But there are cars and, as you say, motorbikes in it. But it does have that gritty feel to it. And we do have some great performance, like Peter Dinklage. I do like Dinklage in a serious role. Like the station agent is one of, my favorite things with him in it. He's obviously great as Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones, but in a serious role, he really does, get just the ability to display these different emotions. He does a fantastic job. He really does. Juliette Lewis is chewing the scenery. Like, she plays a really good bad person, right? She does. She really does. There's a few times with the kind of not muffin. What do you call it? Mumbling. That's it. I knew it began with an M. The mumbling. Yeah, I could not make out what the fuck she was saying. But her character, you know what I mean? She's a shit, right? She's not nice, but there is a code. And we do see that. So it is, you know what I mean? She does a great job of showing this stuff. And that, at the end, when she says that thing, ooh, boy. Oh, boy. Right? The rest of our cast did a splendid job. We've got Levon Hawke as Jack and Lola, his sister, played by Esme Creed Mills. You buy, their relationship. All of that. At the beginning, the Jimmy Sue character, you think is a little, you're like, But as she is kind of navigating the group, like, the character does get, I feel, more layered, and that's good. Obviously, Eustace Howard, right? Gbenga Akinnagbe, he does a tremendous job, right? Especially playing off of Dinklage, because he is the lighthouse in the dark, right? That's his character, and he does it very, very well. Our bad guys are good, right? All of the characters are good. And, there's bits of the story which are a little bit like, you do scratch your head a tad, right? I feel, because it's, why does the uncle do what the uncle does? That's a bit, that makes no real sense whatsoever, right? Caleb, his actions are a bit odd, because it's just like, well, that means it's only ending one way, right? Why would you do that thing, right? So that's a little odd. And there are, it's gritty, right? At times it feels a bit like Deadwood, which is great. I love Deadwood, But then you do have these moments where you're just like, what? Like, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? Of like, just, someone's like, oh, you're so mean. And they're like, rah, 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 rah. And then they're like, well, the reason is, and you're just like, no one's doing that shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, I saved your life, you little fuck. Shut up. That's what would be going on at that time, right? There's no, oh, let me appease your opinion. It's shut up. It's ruling by violence. You know what I mean? You're shooting before you're apologizing, right? So there are some moments where you're just like, what are they? That doesn't feel right at all. you know? But for the most part, it's really solid, and it takes people to the most logical place, right? Because as I say, this is a time where weak people die. You know what I mean? So it really does give us logical story arcs to a lot of these characters. And there's a bit at the end, and the look on one character's face is haunting, right? Because it's kind of a bit of like an empty look. Like, even though we're in a certain place, all the events to get us here have left their mark, and we see that etched across the face. And that was a great shot to kind of bring it all home, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you're not in the States, right, because this dropped last year for those motherfuckers, so if you have not seen the Thicket yet, yeah, this is good, man. I think there was oh god, what was the film called? It was like Place of Bones, which there was some really good moments in it. It was a little shaky, but there was some really good moments in it. And I think if you like that, you'll like the Thicket, right? If you liked I think it's Day of the Dog, that Pierce Brosnan film. It was from a couple of years back. We covered it in the London Film Festival. If you like that, I think you'll like the Thicket, right? If you like things like True Grit, I think you will like the Thicket. It's not perfect, but it is solid. And, you know what I mean? I don't think you're going to regret the time you spent watching it. So, yeah, the Thicket, it's out on the 21st of April, and the DVD drops on the 26th of May. So yeah, there you go, people. The Thicket.